of January 27th, 2017, the defendant, Timothy Verrill, a paranoid drug dealer trying to protect himself, his business, and his boss, brutally murdered Christine Sullivan and Jenna Pellegrini.
This is Court TV Live. We are your front row seat to justice. I'm your host, Julie Grant, and it's great to have you with us this Wednesday. So during this hour, we're going to be bringing you the very best moments in day number 1 of the Small Town Secrets murder trial. This is happening in New Hampshire. Testimony is set to resume in our next hour. The defendant is Timothy Verrill. He's accused in the brutal deaths of 2 women. Here's Court TV anchor Michael Ayala with the backdrop.
In 2017, 2 women were brutally murdered, and prosecutors say Timothy Verrill was the killer. He is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of reckless second-degree murder, and 5 counts of falsifying physical evidence. Verrill's first trial in October of 2019 ended in a mistrial because the judge found the New Hampshire State Police failed to provide information to the defense, including recordings of witnesses' interviews and emails between witnesses and investigators.
On what date did you actually request this trial?
It was October 31st. The state had rested the defense. We had called several witnesses already.
48-year-old Christine Sullivan and 32-year-old Jenna Pellegrini were stabbed and beaten in the early morning hours of January 27, 2017 at Christine Sullivan's home. Sullivan lived there with her boyfriend, Dean Smorunk. Pellegrini was staying with them. Pellegrini and Sullivan's bodies were found under the home's porch. Investigators say Verrill was part of a drug trafficking business with Sullivan and her boyfriend. Prosecutors allege Verrill murdered them because he believed Pellegrini was a police informant. Smorunk was out of town at the time of the murder and found the bodies of the 2 women. In the first trial, Verrill's defense painted Smorunk as the real killer. Recently, Pellegrini's father posted a tribute to his daughter, wishing that she could see her kids growing up. And in it, he quotes Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven. And says, quote, "We celebrate the life of Jenna and Christine. You left us lost in pain. This year, we hope to get some closure from this horrible tragedy. We soon shall see justice for our loved ones."
All right, that was Michael Ayala reporting there for us. Now, before we bring you the opening statements in their entirety this hour, we're taking a look back at day 1's most critical moments.
On the morning of January 27th, 2017, the defendant, Timothy Verrill, a paranoid drug dealer trying to protect himself, his business, and his boss, brutally murdered Christine Sullivan and Jenna Pellegrini. Dean and Christine were drug dealers, and the defendant worked for them. At about 6:57 a.m., the defendant quickly walked to the door and locked it. At this point, the only 3 people in that house were the defendant, Christine, and Jenna. The murders were disorganized and hyper. They weren't cold and calculated. They were emotional and they were passionate. The defendant struck Christine multiple times in the head with a blunt instrument. The defendant murdered Jenna while she was in bed. As with Christine, the defendant also struck Jenna in the head. The defendant then stabbed Jenna to death, inflicting 43 stab wounds. Defense is going to come up here and they're going to tell you that somebody else murdered Christine and Jenna. There is no boogeyman. The evidence in this case will show that the defendant is the only one who cleaned up the scene, the only one who fled from the police, and the only one who killed.
Christine and Jenna fought back against their killers. They fought so hard that their killer's DNA got embedded under their fingernails. That killer's DNA was not Tim's. The state must answer every question that gives you reasonable doubt. And when they don't, you must acquit Tim. The state's inability to answer these questions starts with the investigation. The police carried out a distracted and incomplete investigation. Now, we're not saying that this was a dishonest investigation, but rather that it was fatally flawed. It's important to know that federal agents were investigating Dean's multi-state drug operation prior to the murders. Dean and Josh would discuss the Tim problem. Tim was distancing himself, becoming hard to reach. He was missing delivery appointments. You'll hear from others how Tim was getting sick of this world, but leaving it isn't easy. Now, Josh knew that Tim was slacking, and Josh knew that Dean was getting fed up with it. Tim was becoming disposable. When Dean eventually gets to the house early Saturday morning, after spending 90 minutes in the car with Josh from the airport, he waited 2 hours before calling the police. Instead, he and Josh walked around the house. Dean took pictures of a bloody mattress and texted it to friends. Dean turned the surveillance system back on. It took 2 hours for Dean to call 911. The state needs to prove to you exactly who killed these women. They're speculating it was Tim. They're pointing at the wrong man. The evidence doesn't support convicting Tim. Tim did not kill those women, and Tim is not guilty.
What do you think happened in the small town secrets murder case? Was it the defendant they've arrested, or was it someone else who carried out those homicides? Let me bring in my guests and get their first impressions. In the studio with me, retired deputy inspector for the NYPD and the author of the book Once a Cop, Corey Pegues is here. And joining us remotely, parenting and family relationship expert Dr. Sue Kornbluth. Good morning to you both. Corey, let me start with you, please. First impressions after day one.
Excited to see the prosecution and the defense go back and forth. I mean, remember, you have some people that's not like the greatest citizens of America that's going to be witnesses, drug dealers, jail records, testifying. You sort of, yes.
Not testifying, testifying. That will happen in this case, I'm sure.
Because you saw the girlfriend, Dan's girlfriend on yesterday.
Yeah.
She forgot almost all her testimony from 2017. They had to keep telling her. So this is going to be exciting because when the prosecution gave their opening, I thought this was an open and shut case. And then the defense did their opening, a lot of holes and gaps. So. We'll see what happens.
Right, definitely. Dr. Sue, to you on your first impressions, please.
I think this case is not, shut and dry. I think it's very complicated. I agree with Corey. I think that, what they presented here in the beginning is all over the place. I think the prosecution did a great job, but then the defense came in and questioned a lot of things. So I don't know if this is a slam dunk, and I'm excited to see what is going to happen here. The fact that these two were found underneath the home is disturbing as can be. And the factor that he was in the home, he was the only one left in the home, that is suspect that he is guilty. But then what about the DNA, Julie? That wasn't under her fingernails, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right, that's something the defense is really playing up here. They're going to really try this case on the issue of ID. They're going to say, State of New Hampshire, you got the wrong guy. And we understand that there's going to be a big witness today who may be someone that the defense goes after and tries to place the blame with. Corey, back to the point that you were making earlier, please. When you have a case like this where you have people who are engaging in criminal activity, how much extra challenging does it make it for the prosecution, their investigators, everybody who's on the side of the government, who's just looking for the truth? Remember, it's something really important to keep in mind in any case. That's the government's job, to get to the truth, get to justice. Defense attorneys, they're advocating for their client. They're trying to protect their client's interests. So would you speak to some of the challenges when you have some unsavory characters, you know, that you got to haul from other prisons or wherever you're getting them, you know, to come in and hope they tell you the truth.
Yeah, well, I find like the best thing to do, if you have somebody that has a real sketchy past, you just got to be honest with the jury. You got to lay it right out there. Have you done drugs? Are you still doing drugs? Did you go to rehab? All of these things. Were you ever convicted of a crime? All right, put all that to the side. Let's focus, laser focus on this case right here. On such and such a date, what was you doing? Where were you? Were you under the influence? So on and so forth. I mean, I don't have to tell you, but you just got to go. Their credibility is going to be questioned because the defense is going to be knocking them all day.
Right.
So the prosecution, you just got to lay it out and then hope for the best because you only could deal with the cards that you have.
It's the truth. Yeah, you're right, Corey. That's what you do. You let them know that you don't necessarily like that you have to deal with them. You do. You let them know as a jury, look, I'm independent from them. I don't condone all the criminal conduct. Absolutely. Something else, speaking of criminal conduct, whoever carried out these homicides, I mean, talk about savage. Dr. Sue, we're talking about a stabbing here. As you know, victim Christine Sullivan stabbed 8 times. Victim Jenna Pellegrini stabbed over 40 times. Dr. Sue, when I heard that, my jaw dropped. What does that say to you as a psychologist when you think about anyone stabbing someone that many times?
Yeah, so, you know, that is barbaric, Julie. It's beyond what other people may do that do stab someone. This is to me, it's like a mass murder. They could not stop themselves. They couldn't control themselves. And they wanted this woman dead no matter what. So to me, either whoever did this was so angry or so high on drugs that they don't know, one, maybe what they were doing, or two, they despised her so much, and we don't know why possibly. But anything like this, Julie, is absolutely barbaric. To me, it's inhumane even. And I'm talking about murderers who, you know, I believe they're not humane at all. But this is beyond inhumane 40 times.
Yeah, it's almost unbelievable, yet it happened. Dr. Sue, Corey Pegues, thank you both. Stand by.